The commander of Russian forces in Ukraine says the situation in the southern city of Kherson is difficult and residents are to be evacuated. General Sergei Surovikin said Ukrainian troops using HIMARS rockets were hitting the city's infrastructure and housing. He spoke on Russian state TV. The Russian army will above all ensure the safe evacuation of the population of Kherson, he said. His rare admission of big problems was echoed by a top local official. Russian-installed regional official Kirill Sturmusov warned Kherson residents that in the very near future Ukrainian troops would launch an assault on the city. "Please take my word seriously, I'm talking about evacuating as quickly as possible," he said on the Telegram messaging service. He added that people on the river Dnieper's west bank, called Dnipro in Ukraine, were most at risk. This was confirmed by the region's governor Vladimir Saldo, who was also appointed by Russia, in a video message. Kherson was the first big city to fall to the Russians, back in February. Ukrainian forces have been steadily retaking nearby territory for the past few weeks. They have pushed as far as 30 kilometers, 19 miles, south along the Dnieper, threatening to trap Russian troops. As a whole, the situation in the Special Military Operation Zone can be described as tense, Gen Surovikin said. Kherson is the only Ukrainian regional capital to have been captured by the Russians in their invasion. The Kremlin now claims Kherson and 3 other Ukrainian regions to be part of Russia, a claim rejected internationally. Infrastructure damage. Gen Surovikin, who has a reputation for harsh methods, said Ukraine's volley of rockets had damaged Kherson's Antonivsky Bridge and the Kakhovka hydroelectric dam, blocking traffic along those key arteries. That had created supply problems for essential services, namely food deliveries, water and electricity, he said. The BBC has been unable to verify the hardship in Kherson described by the general. He also said the Ukrainians were launching constant attacks across a wide front in the areas of Kupiansk and Lyman in the east and, in the south, on the Mykolaiv-Kryvyi Rih front. General Surovikin, who is Putin's hardline new commander. Blackouts in 1,000 Ukraine towns after attacks. Could HIMARS missiles help Ukraine defeat Russia? The scale of the planned evacuation from Kherson is not yet clear. If Russia forces people to leave their homes, it could constitute a war crime under the UN's definition. Kherson Port View, July 19, 22. Image source, AFP. Image caption. Kherson is a major economic hub, with port facilities and various industries. In March, Ukraine said Russia illegally deported thousands of people to its territory from Mariupol, a city devastated by Russian shelling. Under its definition of war crimes, the UN includes the transfer, directly or indirectly, by the occupying power of parts of its own civilian population into the territory it occupies, or the deportation or transfer of all or parts of the population of the occupied territory. The Russian State Duma, the lower house of parliament, discussed plans on Tuesday for transferring Kherson residents to Russia. Deputy Prime Minister Murat Kusnulin said they would be offered new homes anywhere in Russia, and the government would provide financial assistance. According to Russia's Vremya TV News, each family member will get 100,000 rubles, £1,433, $1,626, to replace household goods they were forced to abandon. Kherson's pre-war population was nearly 300,000, but Ukrainian officials estimate that about half that number have fled the city. Gen Surovikin is the new commander of Russia's war in Ukraine, what the Kremlin calls a special military operation. He is nicknamed General Armageddon and is a veteran of Russia's wars. In Syria, he oversaw Russian bombing raids that killed many civilians. He has also commanded troops accused of human rights abuses in Chechnya. Gen Surovikin was speaking on a day of further Russian drone and missile strikes on Kiev and other Ukrainian cities, many of them targeting Ukraine's electricity supply. Parts of Kiev now have no power or running water. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that 30% of his country's power stations had been destroyed in the past 8 days.